Hey there, I'm Lee from Play Guitar Academy. I help frustrated guitar players get back to getting better at the guitar. Today I'm going to talk about the different styles and the different situations that you'll find yourself where you might need to be able to play fills that go between chords. Comping, and that's a word that came up yesterday when we were in our community chat. Comping chords, hitting chords, stabs. A lot of people like to call them that. Quickly hitting a chord right where the change takes place. Like we talked, like the chord line. So for those, you're establishing where you're going. We use the example of D minor 7 to G7, and you have some time to get there. So in D minor 7 to G7, that's in the key of C major. So the first thing you would do is you could walk down your major scale. So I just walked straight down, starting on a D in the major scale, and I ended on a D right where the G comes in. And that D is also part of the G dominant chord there. So I'm linking those notes just like we talked about in the last section. But there's other parts too, other places that you would learn to play fills between chords, or you would need to, and that is when a chord cuts out before a change. So sometimes you have a song, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, where it's just you, or it's just drums, you and drums, or you, even a bass player would be playing out, but the chords, the harmony cuts out. So you're gonna have to establish the next chord. Using arpeggio notes, as we talked about before, but also stating the harmony, going through the chord tones and using the scale that's appropriate. We're talking about major scale. If in a rock setting, you have a lot of minor scale. So say, let's go to A. You've got an A chord. I've got an A power chord to a C, to a G, back to A. I'm going to use the natural minor scale first. So I'm got an A. I'm just going to go up and down the A scale. So right there first, I'm just establishing the harmony. I'm just going up and down the scale that I know works for both of those chords. In minor, we have the C chord is built off of the minor third, and the G chord is built off the flat seventh. Both are in the natural minor scale. So now that I've gone through just the scale, now I'm going to figure out, well, I've got that C chord here. What's a note I could hit in C that's going to the C chord is going to be a major chord in C major and A minor. Hold on a second. C major and A minor share the same notes. They're related keys. So relative A minor is a relative minor of C major. So I could go to the third of C when it hits this C power chord. Even though it's not playing a full C major, I know in minor, all I have to do is go every other note. That those are the three notes that I need when I'm over the C chord. So we have C, E, and G. All right. So here I'm going to, when I hold on that E note over the C, it outlines the chord progression. And that's what we're trying to do, even though there may not be a chord. This one, we do have the chords behind it, but say it wasn't that. So if you can hear the chords going by, here's A, and then I hit the C chord. I'm hitting one of the arpeggio notes, and now I know I have a G chord coming up, and that's the third note of G is B. So just by outlining, and when I mean outlining, by resting on those notes, let them be featured more than the other notes. I just went through 3 chords without the chords playing, and you could hear some sort of harmony going on. It's all about matching the chords that are going along. The biggest problem people have when they're trying to play fills between the chords is they just play the scales up and down the scales without thinking about the harmony of the song. Now, when you don't have a background, you could imply the harmony, and that's what I was doing in the last thing, where I was playing chord notes in my line, implying that those chords are back behind there, even though you're not hearing them at the time. Well, let's talk about a different style of music where you would find some place to do fills between the chords. And that's kind of like a Hendrix style. This is a very popular rock style where you have little parts of chords. You have little passing dyads, 2 notes chords, or you might even have passing chords. You know, those kind of ideas. And in songs like that, if you were to just play E's a big one, I just made that up over E, and it's over the E major pentatonic. If we were just to play the basic block sound of that little snippet that I just played, it would just be E. So what do I play over this, and how's it going to take me to the next chord? So my next chord I'm going to use is an A. Okay, so I know my chords. E's going to A. I know the scale that works over both of those. That's the E major pentatonic. And I need to know my target notes, and that's the trick. So my target notes, I'm starting with the strong notes in E. We have E, G sharp, and B. These are triads. These aren't 7th chords like we were doing in blues. So you hear this a lot, this hammer-on from the 2nd to the major 3rd with a root in the bass. You hear that in a lot of different, was like Yellow Ledbetter, a lot of Hendrix type stuff. Black Crowes, songs like that. Bands like that play songs like that. So these are my strong notes. And I'm going to make a fill using these lines, targeting the notes of the next chord. And so our next chord is A. We have an A, C sharp, E, A. So A, C sharp, and E. Well, let's find out which notes of those are in the scale. Well, A is not. A is not in the major pentatonic. We have 1, 3, 2, 3, 4 would be the A note. So we're not going to get the root of that chord in there, but we are going to get the 3rd, which is the C sharp, and we are going to get the 5th. So I'm going to target the 3rd first in this example. I just went up to scale and came back down to the C sharp, which is the 3rd of A, a strong note. Went past it and came back. Set that note up. Thought ahead. Now let's do it for the 5th of the chord that we're trying to get to, the A chord. That's an E. That's nice. So I'm just going through the major pentatonic scale, and I ended on E right when that chord starts. Sounds good because we have the chords playing behind us. If it was just us playing, take a listen to this when I play the same. You don't really hear changing of the chord because it's an E. It's the same as the root of the first chord. So it's not a whole lot of difference. But that C sharp worked really well. Targeting the thirds is always a great way to take yourself from one chord to the next. Now, what we're going to do is the last part we talked about making that decision when to go outside the scale if it suits your purposes. For this one, the major pentatonic doesn't have an A in it, which is going to be the strongest note when you're going to an A chord. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that A note into my major pentatonic scale, my E major pentatonic scale. I'm going to, just for the time of that chord, I'm going to add that in because I know it's going to work because it's the root of that chord. It's the strongest note. So let's take a listen to that. Really nice. I get rid of it during the E chord. There we are. I'm going to do it down lower. You hear how it perfectly sets up that next chord coming in. Hey there, thanks a lot for watching my videos. I hope you got a lot out of it. Hope you learned a whole bunch about connecting chords with your lead lines. I have a free gift for you, and that's over at PlayGuitarAcademy.com/fills. And that's basically the tabs for all the 3 examples that I had for you this week. Thanks so much again. Please like and subscribe, and check out the other videos in this series.